Hello and welcome to Entirely English. Entirely English is an online school to help people from foreign lands understand the English. The YouTube channel is for understanding our customs and peculiarities, and the school is for helping people understand the English language, including idioms and so forth. This video is the second half of our appendix to our Manners series. Unintended second half. I had hoped to do it all on one video, but I had to chop it into two. Before we go into the second half that I chopped, I wanted to add something else at the beginning, something that I missed out previously, and I think is actually important. And it's about communication, about talking to people. Now, when we talk to people, we often like to make eye contact. The eyes might move around, but you generally focus on the eyes. So when I met my brother a couple of weeks ago for a cup of coffee, we sat outside. It wasn't a very sunny day, but he was like this the entire time. It was very rude because I couldn't make eye contact. You start looking all over the place because you can't maintain eye contact. So if you're talking to somebody on the street, outside, or even inside, take off your sunglasses, or do the trendy thing and stick them up on top because it looks cool. But don't sit there with your eyes covered unless you're both wearing sunglasses and it's a very sunny day. That is kind of inconsiderate. It makes the other person uncomfortable. If you can't see somebody's eyes, you can't communicate very well. And you don't know, we look at people's eyes not just to communicate, but there is this subconscious thing. You look for signals of lying and deceptions or sincerity. Yeah. So if you're going to lie to somebody, wear your sunglasses.
Songa huko. Tutaki nini hapa? Kabisa tukutaki hapa. Tutaki kwenda wewe. Nenda kabisa tukutaki. Songa mbali kabisa, hii maji ni yetu hii. Hataki takupia, tutaki watu wa kabisa tukutaki hapa sisi. Nini sasa wewe? Hii maji imetusumbua sana kwa muda mrefu. Ndio kwa sababu hatutaki wageni hapa wanakuja kutusumbua. Tumetengeneza hii maji kwa miezi 6.
And on the subject of talking to people, I hadn't thought of this before because, it's just natural for us. But for other cultures, there is this status thing. Asia, for example, maybe in the Arab states, maybe, well, I know in the Russian language, Ukrainian language, you use, excuse my pronunciation, V for somebody who's senior to you, and T for somebody who's social equal, roughly. So there's this status thing in language. In English, it's not that predominant. We have titles, obviously King, Your Majesty, Your Honor, but when you're talking to somebody, if they are a higher status to you, like your teacher in the school, you call them Sir or Miss or Madam. That's it. There's nothing in the language itself. No suffixes or prefixes. Like in, if you've been with me for a while, that I like the Korean dramas. And in the Korean language, they often talk about this. You can talk casually to me because we're friends or the same age.
예의. 뭐? 나 예의 중시하잖아. 이 자식이 계속 반말하더라고, 나이도 어린 자식이.
Manners in Britain just says, speak politely. There is a quotation from, I think it's a book for ladies from the 19th century about when you're having a dinner party with gentlemen present, when you speak, keep it light, bright, and polite. And while that's kind of condescending, because women shouldn't talk about politics, they should talk about flowers and things like that, it is a good rule of thumb in general conversation, particularly with people you don't know very well. Keep it light, bright, and polite. Light subjects, light-hearted, maybe humorous, cheerful for the bright, no politics, no death, no talking about how Trump is trying to destroy the world, and polite. No bad language, what we call bad language, or offensive language, or swearing, or taking God's name in vain, those sort of things. So what we'd class as the F word, the C word. These things do change. They do change. When I was young, Yes, that's a very long time ago. Thank you for mentioning it. When I was young, bloody was considered bad language. But nowadays, it's okay. You even see it in the Harry Potter films.
Bloody hell, Harry. That was not funny.
Forbidden Forest?
Not bloody likely.
Maybe it's because people say, well, we read it in school in Shakespeare. He uses bloody a lot. Well, whatever. Whatever the reason, bloody is acceptable now as an epithet or just a swear word, calm, gentle swear word like damn or blast. So keep it polite. Light, bright, polite. All right? Okay, so let's blend into the previous video. I missed from dining, dinner and dating or social situations when you're dining, a couple of little things. One is never overload your fork. Only put enough on your fork that will fit in your mouth without opening your mouth hugely wide. Now, it's not like an American burger. Cut up the pieces, put them on your fork and into your mouth without having to gape. It might be strange to the uncivilized, but filling your mouth to capacity is not a good mannered thing to do. The next one is not commonly done, so you won't see it happening in many restaurants, particularly not in cafes or in people's houses so much. If you are dining or attending the home of somebody of high society, when a lady enters the room, all the gentlemen should stand. If you're at dinner and the lady stands, maybe to go to the washroom, every gentleman should stand as well. It is a bit antiquated, but in those higher society environments, it is the important thing to do. It's showing respect. Again, as I've said before, it's not saying that the female is inferior. It's saying that we respect you. Just as if the king entered the room, everybody would stand. When the lady enters, you stand. When she stands up to leave, you stand. You won't see this happening in McDonald's. But something I missed from the pubs is taking chairs. So you're at a table with 4 people and a 5th person comes to join you. There's no more chairs. You look around, you see a table where there's 2 people sitting and there's 3 chairs. You would then go over and politeness dictates you say, excuse me, may I take this chair? Or more commonly, excuse me, is anybody sitting here? Now, a comedian or an ignorant person might say, yes, and they're invisible. Or, no, you can see there's not. But the polite phrase is, excuse me, is anybody sitting here? Because perhaps somebody was sat there and they've gone to the bar, they've gone to the bathroom. What that phrase means, is this chair being used? Maybe not right now, but perhaps somebody's coming. Normally, if the chair is empty, they would just say, sure, take it. And you say, thank you. Good manners again. And you take the chair. Very good manners would say at the end, when you're leaving, you put that chair back. A lot of people forget that, but it is a good thing to do, return the chair. Now, another thing on the social situations was mobile phones. And we talked about them at dinner, but on public transport. Now, we all get annoyed by people using their mobile phones on the train or in the bus, or like when I was in Ukraine, the marshrutka. And the reason I think is not because they're using a mobile phone and having a conversation, because you would not object if they were talking to the person sitting next to them. Problem is, for some reason, when people are using these mobile phones, they forget there's a microphone. And they talk really loudly. Yeah, John, yeah, I'll be there in a minute. And that is annoying for everybody. If you need to use a mobile phone, remember, it's like talking to the person next to you. There's a technology there to transmit your voice. Keep your voice down. Just talk in your phone. Nobody's going to object to that. Obviously, some people are just ignorant. I did experience this on a train once, going to London, or coming out of London, one or the other. There was a woman at a table kind of behind me to the side, and she made a phone call, but she didn't even attempt to keep her voice down. She took her phone put it on speaker, and then laid it on the table and spoke loudly and turned the volume up so we could all hear what the other person was saying. That is just incredibly rude. Very, very selfish. As I said, not everybody in Britain is well-mannered, unfortunately. But we do have this ideal of what is British. And if you're coming here to avoid conflict, try to obey the rules of manners. Keep your voice down when you're talking on the mobile phone. Just as I'm talking to you here, I'm not screaming, I'm not shouting, my neighbours can't hear me. I'm just projecting my voice at the microphone. And you do the same, just talk into the microphone. Then you're not going to have any confrontations, you're not going to upset anybody. And on that point of not everybody following the rules of manners, I'd like to quote from the Mail Online. The Mail was a newspaper, now it's an online publication. From March 2003, Carol Baker said, and I quote, "For some of it, I fear my generation of women is to blame. In some misguided early women's living, we believed that if a man opened a door, carried a bag, offered a seat, helped with a coat, or walked on the outside of the pavement, he was somehow demeaning us. We called him a chauvinist pig. He gave up, as you would. Maybe we should have been more careful what we wished for. Manners are the building bricks of social cohesion. When rebuffed, men ceased to bother with manners towards women. The whole lot started to crumble until we all stopped bothering with manners towards each other, regardless of sex, age, or class. Manners became outdated, quaint, daft." However, as these videos are made for people of other cultures and countries to help them understand the British way of life and avoid making mistakes, I suggest understanding and adhering to British etiquette can significantly enhance your experience as an immigrant or visitor to the UK. By embracing the local customs of politeness, punctuality, and respect for personal space, you can build positive relationships and integrate smoothly into your new environment. The people then who interact with you will have a favourable impression of you and probably want to get to know you better, inviting you to other social situations, social occasions. And then you integrate more, you become more familiar with more people. It's kind of like networking. Remember, the key to integrating with British society and navigating British etiquette and culture is to be considerate, humble, and open-minded. I wish you the best, and I hope these videos are helpful. Do click the like button if they have been helpful or informative, if you've enjoyed them. Click subscribe to find out what we're going to be doing next. Do put in some comments below what you think of this, what you think of this series, and suggestions for what you'd like us to do next. What would you like us to talk about? And do share these with anybody you know who you think might enjoy them. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Have a lovely week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Manners maketh man. Do you know what that means?